Hello everybody, welcome back. Today is April 18th and we're doing robot and nonsense stories for the end of your week. And it is a hell of a lot of robot.
Which is our future, right? A whole lot of robot, and we have ChatGPT has a new feature, which is weird because all of the chatbots are like, hey, I don't want things to go too long. I don't want to store too much. And now ChatGPT is like, no, we're going to store everything.
OpenAI expands ChatGPT's memory to include full conversation history, including all of your other conversations. And Sam Altman sort of eerily said, over time, we want the AI to learn about you and your needs and have a better context. And so just be able to respond in a way that makes sense.
Which is just more the AI telling me what I want to hear, which is not what I want. I want the AI to be independent and truthful.
Yeah.
But no, it just wants to tell me what it thinks I want to hear. Sucks. And OpenAI is still in this lawsuit about the copyright stuff. This was kind of a mixed bag. They won some and they lost some here. But the headline, of course, is that they made some ridiculous claims.
Judge calls out OpenAI's strawman argument in New York Times copyright suit. The specific argument the judge didn't care for was, no, you haven't shown that the New York Times knew that AI was going to be scraping things, even though you'd written an article saying that AI is being trained on, trillions of words from the internet. That doesn't necessarily imply that you knew the AI was going to regurgitate copies of your articles. So,
and also that was in 2020, and the judge was like, in 2020, no one had any idea that we would be here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we knew AI was something special in 2020, but we had no clue where it was going. So, no, you cannot make that argument. So that one's overall, I think that was a win for the New York Times for sure. And if you use AI very much, and especially if you use it for those long conversations that I was talking about, you're going to hit the limit. Oh, no more messages until X o'clock. And that's annoying. And Anthropic says, just give us all your money.
Anthropic rolls out a $200 per month Claude subscription. And also Grok. Grok is priced exactly the same as Claude.
Who has the money for this?
They also have a $100 tier if you want to go mid. But I think the value here is just use the API. And you can use the console if you don't want to build your own interface for it. Because the credits go a lot further. Because if you pay $200 and there's one day where you don't use it, you're just burning. Yeah, just buy credits. That's a smart way to do that. And new pictures that are apparently way better.
Midjourney releases V7, its first new AI image model in nearly a year.
It's interesting that here's this guy did a dragon with a spiky tail. That's what he asked for there. I like it's sort of like googly eye. And this is its Ghibli attempt. But the interesting thing here is now apparently all of the image generators make you do a little quiz. They make you look at a certain number of pictures and pick your favorite so they can develop your visual style that you like.
Interesting.
And Meta is, again, doing wherever the political winds blow, that's where the Zuck goes.
Meta says its latest AI model is less woke and more like Elon's Grok, which harkens back to that first story that we had this week, or from the first episode this week, about Zuckerberg just saying stuff so that he'll get in the news.
It is true that it's trained on media, and media is very left-leaning on average. But again, I don't think that we should be trying to influence the AI one way or the other.
They did release Llama 4, which has a huge context window, which is, I think, what drove the ChatGPT changing their conversation context window as well. But they were also caught doing bad things. Meta got caught gaming AI benchmarks with Llama 4. What? So, Llama 4, playing with it is kind of dumb. But you can actually paste in a whole bunch of information to make it a lot smarter. So, if you're asking it about something, you can literally just give it, a gazillion tokens and then ask it about stuff. And then it's very smart. It's very good. You can just here's the motherboard manual for a PDF. Tell me about the PCIe layout or which things share what things. And it'll do it. It's great. But otherwise, it's not the smartest model just with the data that it has internally.
And it's funny that That's not funny. It's depressing, but like the we've come full circle, and we've talked about this over and over. But like AI is not going to take jobs, and then AI might take some jobs, but it's going to make your life better because you'll have other jobs. And now it's just like all the pretense is gone. AI is going to take jobs, and that's what we planned all along.
Shopify CEO says staffers need to prove jobs can't be done by AI before asking for more headcount.
They're gonna have a nasty realization that certain jobs aren't going to be able to be done by AI, but only after they've done a lot of damage.
It's like, hey boss, I'm working on this new Shopify API. We really could use some more people working on this. And it's like, oh, you don't have the AI hooked up to your editor correctly. It's like, oh, okay.
But that doesn't.
And as also I think the planned thing here, as it was always planned that AI was going to take our jobs, but I think it's also planned that AI is going to replace all human interaction.
Tinder lets you flirt with AI characters. The 3 of them dumped me. I had a slightly different take on this, which is AI is going to become a life coach and mentor and therapist, as we have another story later.
But that's just going to create more drone-like behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you want to get laid? You better learn how to do what everybody else does.
Insert coin to get sex. Like that's.
That seems
Well, it's not even coin. It's like adapt your personality to match everybody else. Oh, it's already kind of like that, but this is really going to turbocharge it.
Our messaging will always be embrace your brokenness.
Well, there was the story that she shared was that one of the guys she was talking to, like the scenario was that he was trying to do work and ended up accidentally crashing a wedding. And so like her response was to gently tease the AI for, oh, you stumbled into this wedding. And apparently that was the wrong answer. It was like, no, you never make fun of that.
That's the thing. The interaction has to perfectly match what the AI expects. And, wow. Here's one that is incredible, although the ultimate output was kind of garbage. But the fact that it's like living in the simulation is so impressive.
Real-time modeling of interactive environments. This is Quake 2, but it's an AI engine reimagining what Quake 2 is. And I love it. It's incredible research, and it's very interesting. There's a lot of magical things going on there.
And just to give you some idea of where development is going to go with all of this, like you can just, once you train an environment, you can go in and like add objects like Unity. And it just happens in real time. There's a lot of caveats, but still, that's just...
At the end of the day, it's a generative model. And there were definitely a lot of people that show up and they're just like, no, this is a crime against humanity. We shouldn't do this, blah, blah, blah. But John Carmack, the original, one of the lead programmer, author, super software genius is like, no, this is great. This is an incredible research piece. It's not really meant to replace Quake, but as a research piece and all the stuff that goes into that, yes, it makes a lot of sense. And he conceded, conceded is not really the right word, but all the crazy, insane math that Carmack did to make Quake 2 run on computers of the era, like it was a huge technical accomplishment to get computers to play games that way. They weren't fast enough to really do it the brute force way. He had fun ways to do it via shortcut. He said, no one should be doing that level of engineering now. It's not fun and it's not really super productive. AI as a tool for a force and productivity multiplier in this context is great.
And you alluded to this one, which is probably you would be excused for having some negative thoughts these days, maybe some fears, maybe some apprehensions. But of course, another human talking to another human, that's not allowed. You will, of course, use AI.
The artificial intelligence therapist can see you now. Yeah. I read these stories and I always think about having the little AI assistant following you around is always on your shoulder. If you don't have an inner monologue, maybe that can be your inner monologue.
No, it's gonna be the little therapist on your shoulder, but every now and then he advertises to you. You know what would make you feel better? Ice cream.
A bag of M&Ms.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, should you really have that second bag of M&Ms? It's like, you're right.
And then your health artificial intelligence pipes up and is like, you're not allowed to have that right now.
Yeah.
So the argument here is basically, it's kind of like the argument that a lot of the companies, the food companies, put out about processed food. It's like, yeah, it'd be great if we could all have human therapists, but the poors can't afford that. The poors can't afford.
We can't just make a better society so people
No.
are less anxious and upset.
Whole, like, poors eating vegetables, fresh vegetables. No. We have to adapt to the society that we live in, which is the plebs get AI therapy.
Can we improve the hellscape? Best I can do is AI therapy.
It'll come for the elderly first, as we have a story about later.
And here's a perfect example of it's going to be automated. It's going to be crap, but it's going to be just good enough to edge out all the humans.
WordPress.com will now let you build a full website with AI after laying off 16% of their workforce. I thought this is more of an answer to like Wix and Squarespace, because Squarespace gives you a more like a drag and drop, build a website on the rails kind of thing, and this is exactly the same kind of thing. They're saying AI because it's
a buzzword.
Well, it does. There's like a chat bot, and then when you're done with it, it generates it. It also does generate all your own images and stock photos and stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of them will do copy now too, which I mean that's less impressive.
Yeah,
but
that's definitely going to do that for sure.
The person that used this said that it inexplicably generated one of his stock photos. He's like, this photo doesn't have anything to do with the retro gaming. It was like a woman taking something out of an oven or something. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of the text is not great either.
And the whole idea of like right now, if you're a human, you're trying to deal with big companies or whatever. It's just you're lost in this horrible world where no one's real and you don't know what is and isn't real. And apparently it's going to be full circle.
Fake job seekers are flooding U.S. companies that are hiring for remote positions, tech CEOs say. They have a specific example here of somebody that is like, wait a minute, in our interactions with them, it turns out they are AI generated. Maybe they were just trying to get access to our stuff. And there's a couple instances where they hired a remote worker who then immediately tried to ransomware all of the stuff that they had access to.
And even, I thought this was really clever. You take a local person and you take their images and videos, you train your deepfake on them. The actual engineer who can answer the questions from Russia or North Korea or wherever uses that voice and video to deepfake to get the job. Then the local person, who you thought you were dealing with all along, shows up with the USB drive. And that's how they get you. Tough to take care of that, but like, here's an idea. Meet them in person. Don't let the AI do the job hiring. And this is another. We talked about the biotechnology, but it seems that also there's fear in Washington and in all these think tanks that the same is going to happen with AI.
U.S.'s AI lead over China is rapidly shrinking, according to this Stanford report, which is explored by Axios.
So they point out DeepSeek and all of that, and they're catching up. Our billions that we've pumped into these AI companies are not paying dividends like they always did. And in court, we've seen many a lawyer at this point attempt to use an LLM to generate their case, but this took it one step further, although it was not an actual lawyer.
Didn't we cover this last week? The AP has the headline, an AI avatar tried to argue a case before a New York court. The judges weren't having it. Well, this guy was nervous in court, and so he created an AI avatar that was a copy of himself. And he was just like, I just wanted to play the video so that it could be a more articulate version of myself. And the judges were like, we don't like this.
Should you be an attorney if you can't speak in public?
No, he wasn't an attorney.
Oh, okay.
This guy...
He was representing himself.
Right.
Which I think means that the judges should have given him a little bit more leeway.
But you can't.
No.
Did we do this? This was the fourth. What was the fourth?
I don't know. I thought we did.
Fourth was Saturday? Or no, that was Friday. We might have done this. I don't remember it.
Yeah,
I didn't think we did this one, but maybe.
The judges were just, grilling him up one side and down the other, and they were not kind to him.
Well, that's a stupid idea. And Dr. Oz, oh man. Of all the celebrity appointments, I think this is the worst. I don't think this guy has any idea about anything, which he kind of admitted here.
Dr. Oz pushed for AI healthcare in first Medicare agency town hall. It's like, oh, your first line of defense could be your AI. It's like, oh, I'm having a tingling sensation in my left arm. It's like, well, have an aspirin there, dearie. And it's like, all right, thank you, AI nurse. That's really just a dystopian future. Just shove the old people in a closet and let them talk to AI.
So this is Medicare and Medicaid. And they had a great quote from one of the employees here, anonymous, of course. And they were like, he thinks that we're like diagnosing. By the time we get them, we're just keeping them comfortable until they die. Like, what is AI going to do here? He's focusing on all the wrong things.
Once you get to that age, yeah, it really is kind of like, we're just trying to keep the engine from breaking down entirely.
Right, yeah, at this point, we know what's wrong with you.
It's that you're old, yeah.
We don't need all that stuff. He also made a comment, we're paywalled, but some kind of comment, he's going to be like, I'm going to be purposely naive on many topics. And I think that was just his way of saying, I have no idea what I'm doing here. None at all.
Great.
Measles is coming back too, so I mean, just nonstop winning.
Oh, I misquoted the other one, the Gen Z article about the iPhone.
I think we had a story like that a few weeks ago, though.
This is the one that pointed out the Gen Z distrust.
Most Americans don't trust AI or the people in charge of it, or really any modern technology. It's like, oh, your fridge has a screen? How is this working against me? What sort of adversarial relationship do I have with my fridge with a screen?
Oh, we're paywall, but I think they did break it down a little bit. Can you ever scroll down? You can scroll down a little bit.
It'll let you just go, yeah.
Oh, no, it catches you really quick when you get... Oh, no. There's a max scroll.
It's Drew Gooden, I think, did a video about how, like, technology's not really exciting anymore. Because it just feels like it's always used against you or to get money from you.
Yeah. It's hard to get excited about anything, isn't
it? Even though technology is moving exponentially, Linux is getting linearly better with time. Eventually we'll get there.
And we've seen this a couple of times where someone was like, oh, we got this state-of-the-art AI, and it was actually just overseas workers toiling away. This was 100% that. He never had an AI product at all.
Fintech founder charged with fraud after a quote-unquote AI shopping app found to be powered by humans in the Philippines. This was, it's just like, hey, find me a good deal on product X. And it's like, oh, here, our AI will totally do that. It was people in the Philippines 100% of the time.
This was checkout.
Yeah, it's like
one click, like, hey, I want this. I don't want to enter my address. I don't want to enter my card stuff. Just click. You've got it all on file. And the AI was supposed to be able to navigate any shopping cart. Well, it could because it was people.
Soylent Green is people.
Ooh.
And I don't know. This is a little bit exciting.
This is bad news for old Kentucky.
You think we'll race them eventually?
Yeah. Kawasaki unveils robot horse powered by hydrogen. Can I rent one for a couple of weeks?
Imagine commuting to work on that.
So this is not your usual, these can rotate the legs and they operate independently. And apparently it's really good at even like softening the bounce so that you don't get, rocked and stuff. And they get your hydrogen pods back there. I don't know. They didn't say anything about range, but it can do off-road very well.
How does it function in rain?
They didn't mention that. And that's not the only robot that's coming with AI.
Samsung's cute Ballie robot arrives this summer with Google Gemini in tow. So basically, you just tell it stuff, talk to it, and this is the beginning.
This is like a Furby.
Yeah. But a Furby that's got,
Yeah.
It's a Furby that's going to surveil you.
There were some conspiracies about what Furbies were capable of.
Do you remember my favorite one was that people believed that the Furby would defeat police radar.
Really?
And so you would constantly see Furbies in people's windshields.
Oh. I asked my mom for a Furby and she said no. Because they're like $80, which was a lot of money back then.
She made the right choice.
Yeah.
And the constant spying and the constant feeding of the AI will not stop, and you will be opted in.
Waymo may use interior camera data to train generative AI models, but riders will be able to opt out by signing a form located at the bottom of a locked filing cabinet in a disused lavatory with a sign on the door that says, "Beware the leopard."
Some people have already done naughty things in the Waymo, and they're reading that, and they're like, ooh, should I not have done that? And this one is, I chose this headline just simply because the number, it's like, wow, really? Where are all these going to go? Why do we need that many?
Defense tech startup ARX Robotics targets 1,800 autonomous land drones a year at new UK plant. That doesn't seem like enough. We need like 18,000 a year.
There are two opinions at this table. One is that's a lot, and the other is we need way more.
Now, this guy doesn't have guns yet. He is just a helper bot to carry things for you and stuff like that. You can put radar on him and communications and stuff. So he's just a friend on the battlefield. But I'm sure that those guns are coming. And the humanoid robot, they've made great steps forward. But are we ready for them in the factory?
Hyundai to buy tens of thousands of Boston Dynamics robots. Now, Hyundai owns Boston Dynamics, but this is a milestone for Boston Dynamics regardless, because Hyundai is going to use these for manufacturing. Hyundai thinks that they've gotten to a point where with the NVIDIA partnership and digital twin and simulation and where they are with software, that they're ready to use. As they get the robots, they're going to be able to deploy them to useful positions.
You know, I guess this is like life imitating art, but we talk about how we got so many things wrong in predictions of the future, but how many people have drawn that exact robot in the past?
Yeah.
Like, it is dead on exactly what somebody predicted robots would look like.
I mean, to be fair, it does kind of just look like a person.
Yeah, but that's still very close to
There were definitely a lot of futurists who's like, oh no, robots will not look like people because those are overly complicated. But it turns out if you're going to replace human labor, human-like robots make sense.
And I cannot fathom why you people went and watched this. Maybe it's great. You know, I've not seen it. Maybe I can't judge it. But for whatever reason, this was a hit.
A Minecraft movie, unfinished version leaks online in a rare security breach.
It's a kid's movie. I think it's people taking their kids. And then Gen Zers who just want to scream chicken jockey and throw popcorn everywhere.
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in that room.
This is like a low stakes conspiracy theory, but I believe that all of the clips of the teenagers throwing popcorn around, I think a lot of those are viral marketing put forth by the studio.
So they're encouraging that?
Yeah, because they want people to go see the movie.
Well, one town in Japan is not going for all that new IP stuff. They're creating their own.
Middle-aged man trading cards go viral in rural Japantown.
These are guys in the community who are like, one guy was a fireman. You see the fire in the background there? That guy was a fireman.
He's a fire type, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but he's retired now, but everybody loves him. And they had one guy who was, he taught noodle making or something, and he's like, really powerful card. This is great, but what if you're one of the guys, but your card sucks?
Oh, nobody ever plays my card in tournaments.
But they did say that after they released those cards, the local kids started getting more involved in community stuff because they just wanted to hang out with these guys.
Oh, that's good. That's a positive story. That's such like a heartwarming, happy story. I'm like confused by it because normally we don't have stories like that here.
And I know you guys are really into the football, of course.
Oh,
right?
Sport so much.
You love it. But you understand the idea of the downs, right?
Yeah.
The 10 yards. You got 4 chances to make it 10 yards. Well, so normally what you would do is they got these 2 posts with 10 yards of chain between them. And there's like dudes on the sideline that try to keep up with it, but not anymore.
Sony's Hawkeye innovation selected by the NFL to revolutionize line-to-gain measurements. They're just going to look at it and use it optics and AI.
Will this make the game actually faster paced? How will they advertise to you?
It should, right?
I would
Should
think,
speed it
yeah.
up. I don't know if they want
Based on
that.
your description.
They already do a lot of like overlay graphics and stuff on the fly, which is kind of
Oh,
impressive.
yeah, it's amazing how all that stuff is sort of painted onto the field in post. But the other thing about it is, like, you know, it's a big pile of dudes. And you're supposed to stop exactly where the dude's knee touched the ground or when the ball touched the ground or whatever. But it's just a big pile of dudes. So now the cameras are apparently going to be better at that. And the days of you having any sort of anonymity or being able to hide from the AI overlords are over.
Pirates fan asked to remove bag from his head during the game. Team cites safety risk.
You're putting out off-putting vibes to everybody else.
How is a dude with a bag on his head a safety risk?
It's not. It's just an embarrassment because the bag, he explains, was his protest that the team sucks. He was like, I'm going to come and support the team because I love this city, but I'm ashamed to be here. So, yeah, apparently they're not doing very well. And this one was just, I know that religion is becoming less and less popular, especially in Europe. And apparently they're willing to do anything to get you in the door.
England's wrestling church seeks converts with baptisms and body slams. Should I have pronounced that wrestling?
Yeah, well, it's England, so probably
not in Europe.
That's the Eastern Kentucky thing.
It's wrestling.
Backyard wrestling.
They literally are just putting a ring in the church.
I
don't know.
I don't understand that.
And here in America, we eat trash and we're stressed and our health care is just non-existent. So this is not surprising.
Wealthy Americans have death rates on par with poor Europeans.
Not poor Americans. Even our upper class Americans die in the same percentiles as the poorest of the Euros.
Who has the time off to go to the doctor?
If only we had the power to petition our government for a redress of grievances.
You can try to call them. You're not getting through.
Well, if you try to call anybody, you're not getting through. If you are literally dying, you are not getting through.
911 caller hears dispatcher ordering a McGriddle during an emergency call.
He called the non-emergency number, no answer. He called 911, I think 3 or 4 times, no answer. He finally got through, and it sounded like somebody had him like sort of on hold while they were picking their breakfast.
Oh.
You caught us between shifts. Sorry.
Also, your job is to be like to sit in one place and be focused and sort of just like be still. You eat a McGriddle, you're going right into that like sleepy time. That's not the breakfast.
That's not who you want to call in an emergency. Somebody who just ate a McGriddle.
And I don't even know if modern kids, like, is this even a thing anymore? Because we used to have the commercials, but you guys might not even know what this is.
Engagement challenge. No one knows what this is. Publishers Clearinghouse files for bankruptcy because enough of the country figured out it was basically a scam.
I remember seeing like ads for this on TV, but I didn't really understand it.
Do you remember Ed McMahon? Do you remember Ed McMahon?
Oh, yeah.
Mandela effect. McMahon never did it.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. I remember it distinctly. Don't you?
Yeah, I do. Was it an Ed McMahon lookalike that was doing it? Because I remember the guy in a tweed suit with a microphone and the square glasses being like, "You could be next."
Apparently, he did a different one. Maybe.
Oh.
I remember Ed McMahon being in my universe giving this away.
$1 million.
So Publishers Clearinghouse was this mail order thing where you would forget to cancel, and then they would send you stuff you didn't want, and then you would have to pay them for a chance to win $1 million.
And then they would televise it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm going to come and knock on your door, which was totally set up beforehand. The people were never surprised. And if you are European royalty, you are not going to escape the economic downturn. Times are going to be bad even for you.
Belgian prince loses legal battle to receive Social Security benefits on top of his royal allowance. So being a royal, he gets a large amount of money.
I think it was like 300,000 euros.
Yeah, but he's saying, I should also get the Social Security that everybody gets. And they said no.
You're not everybody, dude.
333,000. Now he claims that he has to
333,000 pounds, which is a lot of dollars.
Oh, 388,000 euros. His excuse was that is not just for him, that is for his entire staff. Why does he need a staff? You can't manage your own schedule. Come on. Yeah, here we go. Like I guess this was just propaganda.
Yeah, this headline is amazing. Respected comrade Kim Jong-un guides preparations for operating major neighborhood-serving amenities built in third stage section of Hosong area. No, you got to click the pictures.
Good time beach party.
You got to click the pictures. This is incredible.
This website is so poorly.
Yeah, look how it's loading. It's like
It's coming straight
2001.
from North Korea. You need to go. You need to. It's like the 7th or 8th picture.
We're getting flagged. Our internet traffic's being flagged right now by the CIA.
Is KP their top level domain?
It's like, oh, that's a nice lobby. There you go, right there. This is the esports wing. It's like, notice the lack of computers.
Do you have to bring your own laptop? Yeah.
But look at it. I mean, it just looks incredible. And what is going on with that guy's suit? Look how long his pants are.
It looks like the Death Star a little bit, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
So North Korea is getting an esports recreation center.
Who are they going to compete against?
Can you imagine, like they're competing against South Korea, but like
No,
that's just,
no
that
way.
would be no way. But like, can you imagine? I feel like they'd be crushed.
Well, but except these guys are going to be, practicing 18 hours a day.
I'd like to get to know the
As if the South Koreans aren't.
the best StarCraft 2 player in all of North Korea. Like, what does that look like?
Maybe we'll find out. Might have to be StarCraft 1 though, because the computers are going to be.
I mean, that furniture looks nice. That whole setup looked really nice. I mean,
there was another. If you see a lot of those documentaries where they take these kind of tours, when they do have computers, the monitors are never on, and you can sometimes see the cords because they're not plugged in because there's no power. And this is a long-running trend of people who call the cops on the cops and expect that to work.
a woman called AAA during standoff to fix tire police had just spiked. She was going 100 and some miles an hour, and the police showed up behind her, so she floored it to 150, and eventually they tried to spike her. She evaded, and so they tried a more elaborate spike trap. They got her, and so she wouldn't get out of the car, and so there was a standoff, and she called AAA from the standoff to be like, hey, the police just spiked my tires. Can you come change my tire? I need to go.
AAA conference called her in with the cops, and they talked her out of the car.
Did you have a moment where like it takes you a little bit to understand what's happening? Like,
What do you mean the AAA
police,
person?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What do you mean the police spiked your car and you're calling AAA?
It's amazing that call center operator was able to parse all that and resolve it. They should get a bonus.
It'll be an amazing future when AI is able to do that, because the AAA is going to replace their operators with AI, and AI is never going to be able to put that together.
And here's another one where, people they have no respect for the cops, and they've kind of learned that sometimes you can get away with that.
I'm in GTA, bro, is the quote from the Draper man who filmed and posted his police chase.
5 stars.
So he was driving a car without a license plate, and the police tried to pull him over, and then he went full GTA while filming the whole thing.
Did he go to the windmills?
He got away with it. He escaped and still chose to upload these videos, which will now get him caught. The desire to post things on social media is just so strong in people. And here's, this is our dystopian future as well, where you are literally just how much money you have. And not even how much money you have overall. How much money do you have right now?
Police escort woman off a flight after she is unable to pay for Pringles. It was
Once you pop, you can't stop.
It was the outrageous price of £7, I think, and this was Ryanair. And the Ryanair called the police, and they explained to the police what was happening. And so the police took her to an ATM to pay for the Pringles, and the police were like, sorry, and/or laughing about it. Meanwhile, Ryanair has banned her.
Because the card reader failed. I don't know if her card was bad or what, but she couldn't use the card reader for whatever reason. And she was like, oh, can I just give you cash when we get to where we're going? And they're like, no, you cannot do that. But that's how it ended up, because cops, in all the body cam videos, the cops, their thing is, it's like, please just let's resolve this without an arrest.
I don't want to do the paperwork. Yeah.
Which is the right thing to do in that situation, don't you think?
Yeah. Ryanair is like, oh, this lady was causing a disruption. And it's like, well, no, she gave you some options. You guys escalated. I think Ryanair is in the wrong here.
And I was so hyped for this one because, we always want a good animal story. But unfortunately,
This was everywhere this week, too.
I was forced to howl with disappointment after reading the details.
The truth behind the de-extinction of the dire wolf. So they took some dogs and they spliced in about 30 genes, but for the dire wolf, there are actually hundreds and hundreds of genes, maybe thousands of genes that are different between the dire wolf DNA that we've extracted from tooth teeth or whatever that we found versus modern dogs, but these will be in appearance like dire wolves.
This is Jurassic Park. You're not really building raptors. You're building
Big, adorable dogs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the surrogate, just another dog.
Yeah.
These are dog-born.
Dog-born.
They're going to go
You
out.
want to say it like a slur.
They're going to go out. They're going to interface with the other wolves. And it's like, you're not welcome in this pack, dog-born.
I saw a picture of I think it was George R. R. Martin holding one of these.
Yeah. They've been born for like a year now, and so it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, they're howling, and it's like they do look like dire wolves.
Think that'll motivate him
No.
to put some keystrokes in?
he's like, man, I could do 10 spin-offs based on this.
And here's a wild day. If you're a bongo, you're just chilling in Florida, living your best Florida life, maybe selling meth or something. And then the
As you
next
do.
day, you wake up in Africa.
Rescue mission: 17 rare mountain bongos airlifted halfway around the world. See inside of the epic journey. So there's pictures of a bongo if you have not seen a bongo before. I had not.
Yeah, I was like, a bongo.
How do you move bongos?
DHL,
Go
obviously.
DHL. What do you think that costs per bongo?
A lot.
They have a cool marking pattern. These bongos will never leave captivity. They're in like an enclosed preserve, but their babies will be released into captivity. It turns out that the Africans tend to hunt them into extinction.
Yeah. 17 is, I guess, the minimum number for genetic diversity.
And here's a pro tip: if you're gonna go on a helicopter, maybe you want to secure your pets.
Unsecured penguin caused helicopter crash in South Africa.
Look at him. He's like, I'll do it again.
This was some kind of research place, and they're like, "Oh yeah, one of the penguins is sick," and they put it in that box right there. And during the flight, I guess it got rowdy, and it hit the thing that makes you go back. I don't know what it's called.
Premeditated. He knew.
No one was hurt, including the
Phew.
penguin. I mean,
Messed up the helicopter.
it would cost them a few dollars for that helicopter.
Yeah.
So. You think insurance will cover that?
Do you think they have a
Penguin.
clause against it? Penguin caused crashes.
And finally, how many tigers is too many tigers?
Man 71 arrested after 7 quote-unquote emotional support tigers found in his house. Apparently the tigers were rescued from Joe Exotic, and apparently the authorities knew that he had the tigers and they were okay before, but then suddenly they weren't. So this might be another case of like, Peanut. Remember Peanut, where the animal welfare people just showed up and murdered pets? There's been no tiger murdering here yet that we know of.
But they did notice that he was letting people come and play with him on social media. And that's a big no-no. And paying to take pictures with them and selfies, which is not something you want to do with your tigers.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to get an accidental...
Swipe with one of those paws.
Remember Siegfried and Roy?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, that video was wild. What year was that?
That's a long time
It was
ago.
a long-
That's a depressingly long time ago.
Yeah.
Boy, it just
You
grabbed
probably
him
watched
like,
that video on Live Leak, didn't you?
I don't remember, but it just snatched
I
him
didn't.
up like a rag doll.
It was just
Shook
like,
I didn't watch it.
I'm not going to do the show today.
or ever again.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the show, of today's show.
Don't forget, we've got a whole new channel we're setting up for this. So go check that out. There's a link below, the link with friends channel thingy. And also bonus content there, at least until we, launch.
Yes.
Don't forget, Links with Friends has its own channel, or it will on July 1. There's a link for that. Click, subscribe, say hi, check out the weekly special, because it's like we're doing a little recap over there to encourage you to go and subscribe and things. We'll see. I don't know.
Please subscribe.
We're experimenting. We're messing with the algorithm. Remember Barbie Dreamhouse? This is Barbie Dreamhouse 2.0.
We'll see you guys there. Bye.